Hi, I'm Matheny Lantano, the internet's funniest music nerd, and today I'm going to be ranking the top most listened to music alternative albums as put together by the Rolling Stones in their article, Music, Who Needs Music? Let's get started with their first album, Space Days. Space Days is Toxic Teeth's first album after graduating high school, taking a break, moving to Murfreesboro, and joining a band named Zombie Bazooka Patrol. At the time, Toxic Teeth consisted of only two members, Kevin Tillery and Matt Lawhead, with occasional guitar work offered from Matt's brother, Jackson Lawhead. It was during this time in 2008 that Kevin and Matt got back together, took everything they learned from Zombie Bazooka Patrol, and reimagined their sound with the release of Space Days. Now, Space Days is a very loose concept album consisting of 9 tracks and spanning only 20 minutes. While infinitely better than anything Kevin and Matt did in their high school years, I find Space Days to be a bit of a misstep for the band. The concept aspect of this concept album is achieved more through lyrical repetition than conceptual cohesion. The mixing is obviously amateur, and the whole album sounds like it was recorded on a webcam. While, as I said, it is an improvement from their earlier works, Viva la Viking, One being all the above, I expected more from them, especially after their success in Zombie Bazooka Patrol. The nicest thing I can say about this album is that it's mercifully short. I have to put this in D tier, I think. Moving on, their second album was Precedence Day. This is the second album from a band named Toxic Teeth. They are a 2.5 member outfit better known for their involvement in the band Zombie Bazooka Patrol. While I do think that musically, lyrically, and in production, this album is an improvement over their first album, Space Days, critical consensus at the time was that the album left a lot to be desired, and I have to agree. The first track, Warm Wind Day, starts the album strong enough with a simple electronic drum track. Drums weren't heard at all on Space Days, and the juxtaposition of folky acoustic guitar mixed with the electronic drums I think works to build promise for an interesting time with the album. However, as the tracks go on, we find Toxic Teeth hasn't really progressed much from Space Days. I think sophomoric is the best word to describe their sophomore album. I have to give it a D tier. Well, no, let's put it at C tier. The third album on our list is Music to Sleep To, the third album from Premier, and I should say only, music alternative band Toxic Teeth. Music to Sleep To is an interesting departure from their previous works, as it is an instrumental lullaby album presented as one 40-minute long track with options to include or not include a bit of soothing, reverberous cricket sounds along with the music. This album had some minor success with critics under 3, but most everyone else never even heard the album, and I don't think they missed anything. If you're 3 or under, you might want to give this a listen, but otherwise, I think you can skip it. I'm going to put this one at D tier. At number 4, we have Leopard Jungle Space Snake, a collaboration between the artist Mr. Nasty and the premier, and I should say only, music alternative band Toxic Teeth. In a lot of ways, Leopard Jungle Space Snake revisits the themes of Toxic Teeth's first album, Space Days, but with Mr. Nasty co-writing and performing, recording, and producing the album, the production values of this album are much higher than anything we've seen from Toxic Teeth before. The album, while short, still provides a fair amount of variety, and at times can be legitimately lush with Mr. Nasty's signature layering of sounds. This is one I think is well worth a listen. We'll put this at D tier. The fifth entry on this list is Ode to Primitive Man, an album by Toxic Teeth stuck directly in the middle of the band's career so far. If you aren't familiar with Toxic Teeth, they are the premier, and I should say only, music alternative band active today, and have released more than 10 music alternative albums to date. Ode to Primitive Man is somewhat an anomaly, probably most relatable to their baby lullaby album Music to Sleep To. It is an instrumental album that was recorded in one day on a beat-up Takamine guitar that was tuned to open D. Toxic Teeth is on record saying they wanted to channel the sounds of primitive guitar players like John Fahey and Leo Kottke. While the talent on this record is mixed, it is still more conceptually cohesive than their earlier efforts, like, say, Space Days, and presents some good ideas throughout. I think you should listen to this. Let's put it in E tier. Your New Kids Come Today is next, and what can I say about this one? Your New Kids is an album by the unknown music alternative band named Toxic Teeth, and when it came out, it was a revelation. Conceptually, it is about a service where, if you don't like the kids you have now, you can send them off to a service with some notes on the kind of kids you do want, and using their enormous stockpile of parts sent in by other parents, you can get replacement kids much more aligned with the kind of children you do want. Musically, it's not. It's a music alternative. Lyrically, it's inspired, and really the only barrier to entry with this one is that it was never released nor saw the light of day. I have to put this one at S tier. What? Put it at S tier. There we go. Rigid Body Hard Surface. Rigid Body Hard Surface is an album by music alternative unknown Toxic Teeth. There isn't really much to say about this one. It's a lot later in their catalog, and after all the incremental improvements they made with each album, to compare this with, say, Space Days, the difference is night and day. It was recorded mostly in open D, as they often did at this time, and got much more of a rock and roll influence, if that's possible to have in music alternative. Possibly the closest thing to traditional music Toxic Teeth ever put out. I'm going to put this one in E tier. Next up is Sunday Porch. Continuing with their penchant to spell and pronounce things wrong, music alternative band Toxic Teeth released Sunday Porch late in their current catalog. I can't say there are any bangers per se, but at least one or two of the songs bang once, and taken as a whole, the album is not altogether offensive. The more I listen to it, the more it grows on me. I'm going to put this one in F tier. Subspace Nights Night Games, the last album released to date by music alternative group Toxic Teeth, is an album appropriately named Subspace Nights Night Games. While the title pretty much tells you everything you need to know about this album, it still has the power to surprise and titillate the listener, and the music, writing, and production are all very competent. It's probably the album I've heard the least from Toxic Teeth, but it might be their finest. I'm going to put this one at D tier. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this tier list video. If you liked it, go ahead and like it. If you didn't, feel free to argue with me in the comments. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. Be sure to check out Toxic Teeth's YouTube channel, links down below. They will be performing a live streamed concert this Sunday, December 10th at 8 p.m. Have you ever heard of Toxic Teeth? Almost no one has, but if you have, please tell us your experiences down below. As always, thanks for watching. This is Anthony Lantano. Closing off.